Okay guys, so I want to thank you for your patience. I know that some of you have been waiting for this video today. Um, I'm filming them at home, and so it takes me a little while to get them to upload and then to go to drive. But we're going to give this a try, and if you hear any noises in the background, that's my boys, so just ignore them. I'm going to also have to start doing really short videos in order to get them to upload. So for the lesson that we've got after this warm-up, which is Introduction to Solving Radical Equations, guys, I'm going to film one video per example. So you're going to watch several different videos to get the whole lesson. Okay, so the reason why I gave you this warm-up is we're going to review solving equations. So the first example or the first question I asked you to answer, you had 10x minus 2 is equal to 18. Okay, well, you should know at this point to solve any equation, you always want to undo the operation. So we have 10x minus 2 equals 18. So we're going to add the 2 to the 18. Then you get 10x equals 20. Then to undo multiplication, you use division. So you're going to divide both sides by 10, and x is equal to 2. Now, this is a linear equation. Which means it's going to have one solution. So then the second equation that I gave you was x squared equals 16. So to undo a square, we have to use the square root. So to get x by itself, you square root both sides. So the square root of 16 is 4. But because it's an x squared and this is a quadratic equation, you know that there's going to be two solutions. Because 4 times 4 is 16, well, negative 4 times negative 4 is also 16. So the other solution is negative 4. Okay, so then the next one. So we have 2, and then we have the factor of x minus 3 quantity squared minus 100 is equal to 26. So again, this is a quadratic equation. And I know that because of the squared. Now for this one, I can't get x squared by itself because this entire quantity is being squared, but I do need to isolate the factor. So to start with, we're going to add the 100 to both sides. We have 2 parentheses x minus 3 quantity squared is equal to 126. Oh, sorry. Okay, so then next you want to divide both sides by 2. Again, isolating the factor. So when I do that, I have x minus 3 quantity squared is equal to, so half of 126 is 63. And then, last step, to undo a square, we square root both sides. Now again, when we square root both sides, there's always going to be two possible solutions. So you want to make sure you put that plus and minus in front. Now 63, we want to break it down because that can simplify. So 63 breaks down to 3 and 21, and 21 breaks down to 3 and 7. And if you remember, I'm taking out groups of 2, so the 3's come outside of the radical, and I'm going to be left with 7 under the radical. So now you have one more step in getting x by itself, and that's to move the minus 3 to the other side. And so it's not going to go with the radical because it's not considered to be a like term. So it's going to be x is equal to 3 plus or minus 3 times the square root of 7. and this is the exact value of x. So the last example that I gave you is about today's lesson. So you have the square root of x is equal to 3. So this one is not a quadratic, but this is a square root function. But just like we've been doing, to undo a square root, you always want to do the opposite. So the opposite of a square root is to square. So we're going to square both sides to get rid of the radical. And so then now the radical's gone, and 3 squared is 9. So x has a value of 9. Now, with any equation, you always want to go back and check and make sure your solutions are working. So I'm going to plug 9 into my value for x, and the square root of 9 is indeed 3. Okay, so we've got 4 examples that we're going to look at and that you're going to be solving. And we're going to make sure as we solve that we also check our solutions. Now again, because of the length of the videos, I'm going to have to do 4 separate videos. So just bear with me. Hope things are going well.